High-stakes diplomacy has a new capital, Islamabad. As of today, April 25, 2026, the eyes of the world are fixed on Pakistan. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has landed, and hot on his heels, a high-level US delegation, including Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff, is en route. The stakes couldn't be higher. We are currently living through an indefinite ceasefire in a war that has pitted the United States and Israel directly against Iran. The Strait of Hormuz is a ghost town, global oil prices are at breaking point, and the World Food Programme warns of a humanitarian catastrophe affecting 45 million people. Is this the moment the world steps back from the brink, or is the Islamabad summit just the calm before a much larger storm? Before the first handshake, or lack thereof, even happened, a war of words broke out. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt made a bold claim. She stated that Iran requested this meeting to present an offer that would satisfy President Trump's demands. Tehran's response? A stinging denial. Iranian FM spokesperson Esmail Bakai called the US claim unfounded, asserting that Iran has not moved an inch on its core principles. So, who is telling the truth? In the world of high-level intelligence, it's likely both and neither. Iran needs the blockade lifted to save its economy, but they cannot afford to look weak to their domestic audience. Meanwhile, the US wants to project the image of maximum pressure yielding results. This friction sets a tense stage for Pakistan's Deputy PM Ishaq Dar and Army Chief Asim Munir, who are now the primary shuttle diplomats between the two sides.
Why is this happening in Islamabad and not Geneva or Muscat? Because Pakistan is one of the few nations with a direct line to both the Trump administration and the IRGC in Tehran. The primary elephant in the room is the Strait of Hormuz. Since the direct military engagements earlier this year, the shipping lane that carries 20% of the world's oil has been effectively paralyzed. The global economy is bleeding. Inflation isn't just a buzzword anymore, it's a crisis. The US demand is simple. Iran must guarantee the free flow of energy and cease all uranium enrichment. Iran's counter? They want a total end to what they call the war of aggression and the lifting of every single economic sanction. It's an all-or-nothing game where the loser might face total state collapse. Let's look at the people at the table. On the US side, we see the return of Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff. This signals that the Trump administration is bypassing traditional State Department channels in favor of deal-maker diplomacy. They aren't looking for a 500-page treaty, they want a signature on a grand bargain. On the other side, Abbas Araghchi is a seasoned negotiator, but he's under immense pressure from the hardliners back in Tehran. If he gives too much, he risks a coup or domestic uprising. If he gives too little, the ceasefire, which was just extended on April 21st, could expire, leading to a full-scale US carrier strike on Iranian infrastructure. And then there's Pakistan. For Islamabad, this is about survival. A full-scale war on their western border would be catastrophic. By hosting these talks, Pakistan is positioning itself as the indispensable middleman of the 21st century.
What happens if these talks fail? We have to be realistic. If Kushner and Witkoff leave Islamabad without a framework for a deal, the US has hinted that the indefinite ceasefire will have a very short shelf life. We could see the resumption of kinetic strikes within days. However, the best-case scenario is what diplomats call a step-by-step de-escalation. Iran might agree to a temporary pause in enrichment in exchange for a partial lifting of the blockade. It wouldn't be peace, but it would be breathing room. The world is also watching the Moscow factor. Araghchi is scheduled to fly to Russia immediately after this. Is Tehran looking for a backup plan with Putin if the American deal falls through? As of tonight, Islamabad is under a total security lockdown. The red zone is a fortress. Behind those walls, the future of the 2026 global economy is being decided. Will the art of the deal work on the Persian carpet, or are we simply watching the final hours of diplomacy before a decade of war? One thing is certain, the map of the Middle East will look very different by next week. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We are monitoring the situation in Islamabad 24/7 and will bring you breaking updates the moment the envoys leave the room. What do you think? Can Pakistan actually broker peace between these two rivals? Let us know in the comments below.